What's up, guys? Uh, so I did a Nameless King guide on how to not get hit, or how I do the no hit run. I'm still pretty sick right now, so I might cough a lot in the video. And there is a fan in the background because I just finished coming from the VR. I'm all sweaty and everything. But this is the way I did the speed run. I mean, not the speed, my fault. No hit run. And again, this is only my opinion. You don't have to do it this way, but this is just the way I did it, and I just wanted to share it out. So first thing I do for the buffs, I'm not gonna use any like blessed weapon, like any sorcery or miracles, I'm not using any spells in this video, so you won't need those. I'm only gonna use charcoal pine resin and rotten pine resin. So first I buff up with rotten pine resin to deal poison damage to Knight Gael, and I only use that in phase 1 because it's really effective. Also, you do want to try to finish phase 1 pretty quickly, because then you'll be able to, the poison will take more effect in phase 2. Just putting that out there. Okay, so talking about the moves, that one's pretty easy to dodge. You just roll to the right. I'd like to roll to the right, in all the boss fights. So that move, it's pretty easy. So he's gonna come up, he's gonna come up with a wide swing and then a vertical swing, but he jumps before he does vertical. So again, dodge that. Roll towards his sword. You should roll. Don't roll too early though. Sometimes it gets me. Roll towards his sword. You should just go over it, and then all you want to do is roll towards his right leg, and the sword shouldn't get you if you roll at the specific time. Every time you want to hit him, I'm using the Sellsword Twin Blades right now. Every time you're gonna hit him, at least get 1 or 2 hits, unless you stagger him, and you should be able to get 3 or 4 hits in. It depends, if you get him staggered pretty well. Also, conserve stamina in phase 1, cause you do wanna push, you do wanna be aggressive, especially whenever you have the rotten pine resin put on, and you want to end phase 1 pretty quickly again for the rotten pine resin to, for the poison to take effect in phase 2 pretty well. But also conserve your stamina if you don't have that much. That move, my fault. It's pretty easy. Just roll towards it. I wouldn't see a point in rolling backwards. Yeah, you'll be able to dodge it, but you won't be able to get about 2 hits in. Also, if you're gonna do no hit runs, I would not recommend a heavy weapon. It would just mess you up. Unless you're really good somehow with it, then go ahead. And no, you don't need to be a dragon in this phase. I'm sorry that I continue on pausing just to tell stuff like this. You can stagger him when you're doing that, but most of the time I don't. I just got lucky there. But whenever he starts yelling like that, just roll backwards about 3 or 4 times and you should be fine. He'll end it up with jumping up in the air again and then slamming the sword on the ground. So then again, just roll towards him on that. That's pretty easy. Just roll back. That's easy. Just roll under his legs. Kind of rolling it towards the sword. Okay, that move catch me once, a couple of times whenever I was trying to do this no hit run. Just roll. You can either roll backwards, diagonally a little bit to the right, but backwards, or you can just roll forward to the right a little bit. I like to roll forward. Does that move again? That move where you jump like that. If he does go towards you on it, you can either roll back, or you can roll towards it and you should go over the sword. And that move's pretty easy. You can roll towards him. For some reason I did it there, because I don't know why I rolled towards him. I don't really think that's a good idea, but you can just roll to the right. And then if you see him step back like that pretty quickly and his sword is like glitched under the map, then that means he's gonna bring it up. So you can just roll towards his arm right there. But not too early or late though. Again, there's that move, just roll towards the sword and then towards his right leg. Okay, here's where I don't stun him. This is where you just want to roll back and try to chill. I almost ran out of stamina. If you look at my stamina bar right there. Oh, what's the quality? Well, my stamina, I almost ran out. And I could have gotten hit there. So you do want to conserve that. Yep, and then he brings it up like that. Alright, that's phase 1 done. That one's not the hardest phase, but it's not the easiest either. Alright, now this is where I use a charcoal pine resin. I use it twice while I'm doing this. You don't have to use it twice. But lightning pine resin is also really good, but I didn't have it on me at that time. And plus, most of the time I use charcoal pine resin. You don't need to have the homeward bow now. I only have it just in case I messed it up because I got hit, and then I'm just gonna teleport back to the bonfire and restart it all over. In other words, this video wouldn't even exist if I got hit. Right there, that was like the only time I almost failed the run. If he brings out the crossbow, right, like whenever you're close to him, you have like out of 100% chance, you have like about a 10% chance to survive that, or like 100. Sometimes he's gonna follow it up with that move. I think he like follows it up with that move every single time. He just pokes on the ground. Just roll to the right of that or towards him a little bit. Make sure you're nowhere near the sword, and then after that you can get like 2 hits in. Whenever he's doing the vertical thing, he can either do 2 things. He either just or 3 things. He either just does that and then stands up, just that one move, which I don't really go for a hit in because I'm not so sure. He's either gonna spin around, spin around, or do that type of spin because there's like 2 types of spins he does, or he's gonna like bring it back up. Actually, no, that's the poke move where he'll bring it back up. You can, if you're pretty close to him on that, you can just roll towards it whenever he throws those little circles. But whenever whenever you're pretty far from him, try to just go a little bit farther and then try to get in between those circles where they don't hit you. And what I like to do here is if I roll towards him, hit him once and then get on the opposite direction. I don't care what he does. Unless it's a crossbow, then that's when you need to start moving. But if it's, I mean, you still have to move here and dodge it. But just after you dodge his one move, just make sure, whenever that happens in phase 2, just make sure you're more focused on those little circle things. And make sure you're on the opposite side of that. If not, that will mess you up. It's messed me up multiple times back then when I used to do this. And yeah. You also want to pay attention to him while that happens, but you should be able to just dodge the first move he does after. If you roll towards him, you can get one hit in. If you roll backwards, I forgot to explain that. If you're like far from him, like I said, and once you get in between the circles, just go ahead and let the circles go past you, and just run to like another direction. It doesn't have to be exactly behind the circles, as long as you're just not like. It could either be to the, like he threw it that way, it could be either to the right, where those rocks are, or to where I'm standing right now, or behind him, but, yeah. Jump attack is pretty easy, just roll towards him. The capes will mess you up, as well. They go like that, a little bit, and then you can get 2 hits in if you did it pretty well. Now, it's very, very easy to get hit by a crossbow whenever you have enough like distance, medium range, or you actually do want to say like medium range in this fight, just because of the crossbow, in my opinion. But whenever you have a good amount of distance, whether it's rolling or running, you should be perfectly fine. I prefer running more, but in my opinion, you gotta be ready for that. You can either roll backwards on that move, or roll towards his sword right there. Yep, I'm a little bit closer now to him, so I would recommend just spamming the dodge button. Again, conserve the stamina, dodge to the right. There's that one spin. I don't go for an attack after he does the spin, because I don't want to ruin it and I don't really trust that. There's the circles, roll towards it since I'm close. If you're far, again, try to get between them. Dodge that. Make sure I'm in the opposite direction. Again. Okay, whenever he does that, you can get 2 hits in. Left, go to the left. Sometimes he will do that. Whenever he pokes like that, again, just roll to the right. I didn't get 2 hits in there because I was kind of a bit late, so I only got 1. We're going to phase 3 now. You don't have to use a charcoal pine resin, but I did because I had enough time. And that move, if you're far enough, just continue on rolling backwards. If you are pretty close, you want to make sure, because this actually ruined one of my runs. I was really close, and it ruined it. I rolled to where his back was, right when he landed, like right there in that position. I rolled to the back, and his cape hit me. You want to roll towards his sword, in other words, towards the left. But you also got to make sure you roll pretty well. I wouldn't really say perfect, because nothing's perfect, or no one's perfect. But you want to roll at like the right time towards his sword. Alright, phase 3, don't roll in my opinion, don't roll towards that. Because, yeah, he's going to go crazy. And all those skulls are going to come out. You have 2 options every time he does that. You can either roll towards him, but just try not to get hit, which is a big risk in my opinion. Which I don't really do it that much. Roll towards him, and then get 1 or 2 hits. Sometimes 3, but I wouldn't risk it. But 1 or 2 hits, or you can just roll backwards and wait for an opening. Whenever there's thunder around, which it's going to be a lot in this video. Whenever you see all the thunder going on like that, make sure to try to lead them. Get them. There will be random thunder to hit you, so if you are far away from him, expect the random thunder. So at least keep medium distance with him, or close distance. But we're not really close. But yeah, just keep medium distance. Try to lead him to somewhere where he's not, where the thunder isn't really gonna mess you up, and then get him to bait an attack. That attack is also pretty easy. Again, all you gotta do is just medium distance. Whenever he pokes, roll into it, or not into the sword, but like you roll. It's easy. Just roll like to the right, and they can get 2 hits in. Roll again to the right. Okay, there's a move. You want to roll not towards his back, but towards the sword right there. If you roll towards the back, the cape will hit you, unless you get extremely lucky. Dodge to the right. Go back a little bit. Dodge to the right again. Go for 2 hits. Not every time you need to go for the 2 hits. If you're comfortable, which at this point I was. Again. Don't fall for it, because sometimes, like how I keep it in mind is he's not gonna do the poke now. Look, yeah, he did something else. Every time you hit him once, even if it's not that same poke move, every time you hit him once or twice, he's not gonna always do it if he does it again. So you see how he did it twice. So he did that. Oh yeah, and don't get close to him after he does that. He is gonna bring back a swing. Yep, there's the poke. I hit him twice, and then he's gonna do the poke again, or that move, and he doesn't poke. So that's how I remember it. Every time you hit him, he's not gonna do it again afterwards. Again, roll backwards on that. I like to time it, so whenever he's about to hit the ground, yep, that's what I mean. You can get 2 hits in and back up. Again, try to lead him out of the thunder, but don't go too far. Again, okay, I wasn't that close, so roll backwards. But again, if you are close, roll towards the sword. That, if you're really good at the game, you can try and hit him at least once or twice. But if you're decent like I am, just roll away from it. That move, again, also roll away from it. He also does that, so if you do want to roll towards him and get another 2 hits in, you can, but I wouldn't recommend it. There's a spin, and then the poke. Again, you want to make sure there's not a lot of thunder. There could be thunder nearby, but as long as you have the placement, and like the the positioning that you're in, it depends on that if you can strike hit him while there's thunder near you. 2 hits, dodge. Okay, now the jump in the air moves are like the easiest, including the crossbow one in my opinion. And like the crossbow one, all you gotta do, you gotta pay attention if you want to get it right and you want it to be easy. Whenever he jumps in the air like that, he's only gonna do one flip in the air and just do it like that. I don't remember if he does a crossbow move in this video though. There he is again. Okay. Just simple moves afterwards. Just, yeah, roll to the left, back up. Just get used to it. There. Okay, that's the one in the air. Just dodge to the right a little bit and then hit him. Okay, on dodging back. You can go towards him if you want. I tried to hit him there, but I was kind of scared. Again, roll towards the sword. Roll backwards. He's gonna swing it back. Go to the right. Spin, poke. 2 hits. I don't know why I didn't hit him at least once there, but I just didn't. Back up from that. Continue on backing up if you're far enough, because it's not necessary to roll. Roll back. Roll back again, unless you want to roll towards it. Again, I would not recommend it, but it's always an option. There's a jumping one. Roll towards the right. Get him 1 hit, because the main reason I hit him once there instead of twice was because, 1, I was very nervous due to his HP on how close I'm getting, and I really don't want to screw it up. And 2, there was lightning nearby, and I was also nervous because of the lightning. The spin. That move. He's so cocky with that move in this run. This is the most times I've ever seen him do this move in one whole run. He's gonna bring it back. Okay, I do get a 1 hit in here because I do expect it. So once you see him like disappear, which it's not hard to see unless you're like, for whatever the reason is, not paying attention. You can just turn around because he most of the time he's gonna teleport in front of you or maybe behind you. I mean, right here he teleported behind me, I think. Yeah, he's most likely gonna teleport right like on top of you, behind you, in front of you. I wasn't able to get 2 hits in. I was trying to do that, but I got 1. I'm gonna roll back. You can roll towards it. I did it there because 1, I was downhill and I found that easier for whatever the reason was, and I did want to get some hits in. Roll away from the thunder. Don't forget that. Then again, don't go that far because the thunder will randomly come out of nowhere and hit you and mess up the run once for me. I learned all this the hard way. Alright, I do hit him once there and back up. He's gonna come again with the same move. Yep. Left. Or towards the sword. Sometimes he won't bring it back, but that doesn't mean go in for a hit because I'm most likely gonna get hit. He's gonna jump again. The lower his in my opinion, the lower his HP is, the more he's gonna do those types of moves where he spawns more thunder just to mess you up and to try to kill you or hit you, whatever you're doing. No hit run or just trying to beat the boss. I'm not gonna continue on explaining the same moves because I pretty much explained like every single move like throughout the fight, as far as in phase 3 at least. He does do that one. You see, we're still learning. I'm still explaining some moves. He does do that one, which is easy. Either roll to the left, like towards his sword, or roll backwards. Again. Roll back. Towards if you want. Or back. I rolled back on that one because there was thunder on my right. 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 2 hits. Right. Back. Keep on rolling backwards. I didn't want to screw it up, so I didn't really go for it. Back. Left. Right. Right there, and we're done. We did it. I mean, I did it, but it's not the same for everyone. But that was my brief explanation. It's 19 minutes. These videos are probably going to be at least 20 minutes, especially if it's like hard bosses. I am going to not level up, my fault. No, I'm going to upload a Udix Gundyr one later. That video is going to be really short. The no hit run is going to be short, and so is the explanation video because there's not really enough to explain because he's an easy boss. But yeah, that was a Slave Knight Gael run or no hit run guide. I'm very sorry this takes too long, but if you really want a explanation on how I do it, then well, it's probably gonna cost some time. But yeah, at least it's not 26 minutes, it's 20 minutes. But I will have more coming in the future. I'm gonna make a guide on every boss and a no-hit run on like every boss, except like Dark Eater Madeir. I never even beat that boss at all, and I'm never planning on to doing it. Old Demon King, I won't bother unless it's highly requested for whatever the reason is. Osiris, I'm not gonna bother. Champion Gundyr, I'm not gonna bother doing one. But like every other, like most of them is gonna be like required bosses. Slave Knight Gael and Nameless King are actually optional bosses, but they are really fun to mess around with. So that's the main reason why I did them. There will be some optional bosses. Half-Light, I don't know if I'm gonna do him. I will think about it. Demon Prince, I'm not doing him. Because I actually struggle with that boss to this day, and it's a pain. I hate the boss, so I'm not gonna bother. Half-Light is also a pain, but I might do it just because it's considered PvP, and why not torture myself a little bit. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. I will upload a Utex Gundyr one later, and a brief short explanation. That's probably gonna be like one of the only shortest videos, considering Vort and Crystal Sage are also gonna be like short ones because they shouldn't be that hard. Crystal Sage is probably gonna be one of the hardest ones. I'm gonna no-hit run because considering the fact that I just rush in there and hit him / her, because I still don't know the gender of that boss. Some people say I always thought it was a guy, and some people say it's a female, but yeah. Alright, that's my Slave Knight Gael no-hit run guide. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope this helped you guys out. See you on the next video.